Hey, there we go. Got a little caught up. So welcome to 269, episode 269 of Wise Advice. Good to be here. Looks like I saw Susan checked in first from California. Dina was second. Lee was not far behind. Betty's over on YouTube. Good evening to you. All kinds of fun folks. Let's see who else. Janine checks in. Chris, what's going on, sir? How are you? Good to see you, man. Hope your workshops are going well. Highland, Indiana. Henry checks in. Very good to see you, sir. Joanne's been a while, but Joanne's from Syracuse is in the house. Good evening to you. Donna's here. Good evening from Kentucky. Hello to all the wonderful wingmen, she says. Anna checks in over on Twitter. Mandy checks in from Tulsa. We're coming to Tulsa. Woo! Real soon. Can't wait to get the details. I should get an email out to you soon as to what's going on in Tulsa, but it's coming up Memorial Day weekend. If you were there last year, same bat channel, same bat time, everything. But I'll get an email out to you so you know to be looking out for that. Stephen, good evening to you. Joni is here from Houston. Good evening. Steve says happy Monday evening. Let's see. Carrie is here. Wanda from Southern California says, hey. Marcy, whoo, Amy's here. Kathy, good evening to you. Another Kathy. Marie from Connecticut, good evening to you. Mid-Michigan, Christy checks in. Rochelle says, hello, I'm in need of inspiration, please. That's why we're here. We're all in need of inspiration. I get it from you, you get it from me. We kind of share inspiration for a little bit. That's kind of how this whole thing goes. Like, I don't think any of us have all of it all the time. So we just kind of trade it back and forth. Like you give me some, I give you some, and we just make it work. Woo! Very fun. So let's see. Corey checks in from Connecticut. Good evening to you. I got you, Amy. Let's see. Julie, another Kentuckian, checks in. Good evening to you. Marcy from Maine. Hi. Good to see you. I haven't seen you since I don't know, it's been probably 20 years, right? I think it's been that long. So very fun. Let's see. Chris says workshops and the new job are, what's that word? I don't know what you're saying, Chris. Sounds like you're tired. Lisa's 133rd blue dot this year. Woo! And then let's see what else. And then Maggie's here. Very good. Maggie says it's been a while since she's here as well. So Donna is asking about the studio build going. So I put that temporarily on pause. I got some other exciting things that I'm waiting to figure out. So I'm just slow rolling that before I bring you the full plan. I met with a different studio. The studio I met with earlier in the year. Met with them again today. I have 3 different plans rolling. I'm trying to figure out which one makes the most sense for all of us. So I tell you, it's making my head hurt. I promise you that. I got a headache tonight. So Eric is here. Good evening to you. Dan from Winnipeg, good evening. We've now gone international officially. Woo! Not that we weren't before, so. Amy says, how was the studio visit today? Can you fill us in? Sure, I can fill you in. So I have 2 options, right? For sure. One option is to get out of this living room and put a studio in the basement. I have plans drawn up. I have construction drafts done. I have a price to do that. That requires an audio engineer and producers to come on site and run the equipment while I'm recording the show. So that's option A. Option B is to contract the entire thing out to include the studio. So I'm balancing between the two as to which one makes the most sense financially. So I had to get plan A squared up, and then I had to figure out what plan B was going to cost and figure out which one makes the most sense long term. So I'm waiting for that final number to come in from them today. Well, I mean, I met with them today, so whenever they get me their final number, then I can make a decision what makes the most sense. Does it make more sense to go full-on basement studio, bring production team in here, bring audio engineers here, or does it make more sense to contract out and run the whole studio from downtown? So one of the cool things is that when I retire on August 1st, thank goodness I'm ready for that date. When I retire on August 1st, then my day frees up, and I have time to record during the day, so either option works. When I explored that studio before, it didn't work because I was working full-time, and I couldn't get there in the evening to record a show. So we have a lot more options now, and now it's just a matter of trying to figure out which one. Susan, I agree with you. It absolutely, tax write-off makes more sense, but bringing the people here adds a different expense, because It's just a different level of expense. So I'm trying to figure out which one makes the most sense, honestly. They both have significant advantages, right? So we'll see. But one of them is going to work for certain. So yeah, that's the game plan there. And so the thing that we need, Maggie says, the big decision. How's the family feel? Yeah, I haven't. Hey, family, how do you feel? Oh, they're sleeping. So either way, it's not a bad thing. The best thing that it's going to be more than either of those, Kathy, it's way more complicated than I expected. The thing that's going to be the game changer is when I retire officially, take the uniform off for good on August 1st for real, but really I'll for the whole month of July. The month of July is going to be, I'm telling you, hang on for the month of July, because that is when we're going to put this whole thing to the test. And so the month of July, there is zero reason that we're not doing shows during the day. We're not, and then that way I have my evenings to myself. It's funny, just before we started the show, I texted my wife and I said goodnight because she's upstairs. And let me see I forget exactly what I said. I said I can't wait to start doing this during the day. I said I want my nights back. I said I'm tired because I am tired. It's 9:30 at night. I've been all day been running around. So, but it's so important to do, and I get so much joy out of doing this that I get re-energized instantly. But my goal is to make sure that we can start doing this during the workday, so that there's content forever. So that's kind of the game plan. So when I retire officially in June is when I have the whole month of July off. We'll start building this off for the month of July. Way more than you need to know. That's all. Woo! Chris says you can use Lucas Oil Stadium. The Colts don't need it till after December, and they barely use it even on top of that. So very fun. So yep. Susan says we thank you. No, and trust me. Like I said, this is the best thing I do all day. If I could do this all day long, it would be way better, because I draw, like we said at the end of the show, I draw an incredible amount of inspiration from this community. So you keep me accountable, I keep you accountable. It's a two-way street for real. I don't have all the answers. I have some answers, and I have some thoughts and some theories, but together we're making this whole thing work. So let me adjust one thing here. I always forget to do this part. Anyway, so that's the game plan there for sure. So on that note, let's go ahead and rock in 269, shall we? What anything you want to discuss before we get rolling? I have the show ready. Lisa and Heather got that squared away. What a tremendous lifesaver that has been. Again, another episode of had they not already produced the show, we may not be doing a show at this point, because about 9 o'clock, I start to fade and waiting for my energy to catch back up. And if I have to produce the show at 9 and then go live at 9:30. Not easy to do. All right, so let's see what else is going on. I think I got most everyone there. Garrett checks in from Mill Valley. Good evening to you. Let's see what else. I missed anything else? So Barbara checks in from Canada. Good evening to you. Lisa, each time I type, my video goes away. Well, that's not good. That's not. Jamie's here. Good evening to you. So cool. I think we got caught up on everything there. So yeah, Donna says, Jay for Lisa and Heather. You have no idea. You have no idea. So even episode 270 is already ready to go. So barring any crazy schedules, I mean, we could do one tomorrow. Don't count on it because I have my WW workshop tomorrow night. But that's the advantage. So what's going to be really, really nice, I've said it a million times, I'm going to repeat it a third time. What's going to be really nice is when my day job gives me my time back. So that's the piece I'm looking forward to more than anything. So Kat's here on a live show. Sandy's here. Good evening from Valparaiso. Good evening to both of you. Yeah, you caught a live show. Woo! Way more fun, right? Awesome. So we're live on Facebook, live on Twitter, live on YouTube, episode 269. It'll be in the app in the morning. Hopefully you have the app already. So Marie checks in over on YouTube. Good evening to you. Are you guys ready for this? I'm ready. It's episode 269. This is a good episode. I think it's going to be a little shorter than the average episode, but you'll see when it comes around. The last email is from someone you recognize. So that's kind of fun. Always fun when when names come through that you recognize. So very fun. Diane checks in a little late. Late better than never. Evelyn, woo! Evelyn, see you tomorrow night. Can't wait to see you. It's been a while. Very fun. All right, let's go ahead and get some. Let's get recording. Gotta do that. So yeah, Susan said, don't forget the water. Catherine checks in from Pennsylvania. Let's do 269, shall we? So this is some very cool water here tonight. We have some major water. Woo! Let's go ahead and do that. Jamie, ready? Cheers. This is fresh from the tap of Carmel, Indiana. Oh, that was weak. Cheers. So good. Woo! Yeah, that's episode 269 water there. Lee says, bring on the 0 point smart point liquid. That's what it is. Liquid energy. Very fun. Checking the audio levels here. Looks good. All right, I think test. Testing. Testing. All right, cool. Sandy says, just down in Carmel last week, beautiful bike path, had a great ride. Yep. Which bike path? The Monon Trail here in Carmel is fantastic if you haven't ridden that. So it's very fun. Carmel does a great job here of building a city that is very friendly to those of us who like to work out. So, all right. Whew. 269. Diane, water's done. Water's in. So now it's just time to rock in 269. Let's do this. Are you ready? Connie says, sorry, I'm late. Rockford, Illinois. Coletta checks in. Woohoo! All right, you guys can hear me good enough, right? Looks like the board's lit up good, so I think we're good. Here we go. Let's do it. That's what I was missing. I felt like I was missing something, and sure enough, I was. Test. Let's go. Test. There we go. Much better. Woo! Yeah, there's a little noise, but all right, let's see if we can. Testing 1, 2. All right, we're recording officially. So, all right, let's do this. Woo! Again, Heather, Lisa, thank you for getting episode 269 ready. I am your host, Fat Dag. You're listening to Wise Advice. My weight loss journey failed when I focused on how. It wasn't until I switched my focus to why that I truly transformed myself. Join the show on the web at fatdag.com and follow along on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all at Wise Advice. Send in your comments, your questions, your celebrations. I'll include them as part of the show. But before we dive in, remember, when you're out of points, stop eating points. Hey, I'm honored to be your wingman as we walk through this journey together because I believe in you. Well, hello there. Welcome to episode 269. Always good to hang out with you guys live before the show on Facebook, Twitter, and on YouTube. It's just a blast to kind of hang out for 5-10 minutes before the show, just to kind of get caught up and to just say hello, and kind of makes it a big party before we get ready to do the live show. So for those of you who joined us live, thank you. If you haven't, get over to fatdag.com, follow us on social media, and get in the Wise Wingman Facebook group. All those places give you access to come in here and watch the show before the show. The best way, though, follow the Wise Advice account on Twitter. I'll give you a 15-minute notice that I'm going live. Actually, I let you know the second I decide I'm going to go live, and then 15 minutes before the show, and then you get a tweet right at the show start time to say, come join us in Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube, and we'll make it all work. So that's the game plan there. Had a great visit today to Edge Media Solutions again, Site Strategics. Good buddy of mine, Aaron, owns a studio out there. As you guys know, I'm working on 2 different projects. I'm working on a project to bring the recording studio into my basement, and then working on a project also simultaneously to build a recording studio, or contract out with a recording studio already here in Indianapolis. I got to try and figure out which one makes the most sense financially. There are pros and cons to both. The bottom line is both of them allow me to get you better content, more consistent content once I retire from the Air Force in August. Man, I tell you, 27 years, I'm honored to do it, but I'm ready. I'm ready to bring this to you live. I need more inspiration. You need more inspiration. This once a week thing just ain't cutting it. We started doing this thing every day for a reason, and I can't wait to get back to that. So hang in there. We're not far away. We're recording this on May 13th, and so just a couple more months, and then all of a sudden, boom, everything changes. So thanks for being here for sure. If you haven't already, get to your app store, download the WhysAdvice app. It's the best way to hear the show. The first email of tonight comes in from Shira. She writes in, says, "Hi, Fat Dag. I've written in before, and you read my emails on air, and it makes me feel like a celebrity. I've been following you since almost the beginning, and I believe we joined WW around the same time. In one of your more recent podcasts, you talked about your why and how to kind of rededicate yourself back to your why, and something in that really stuck a chord in me. I've been hovering at the same weight for a long time, and I adjusted my lifetime goal to meet this weight. Even though I knew in my heart that this is not my goal weight, and I would actually like my goal weight to be 5 pounds less. I've been going over my points daily for a while now, and that's why I probably can't lose the last 5 pounds. But something you said in one of your more recent shows about how 95% of your effort will get you through this process, but it's really that last 5% and really dedicating yourself and using that last 5% to push through and maintain lifetime is what will get us through, and that really spoke to me. I'm determined to have a blue dot today, and I'm on my way to doing it. I'm going to take it one day at a time, but I am determined to lose these last 5 pounds and really get to my personal goal weight that I've set for myself. Thank you so much for all that you do. I listen to your podcast every Sunday while I clean, do laundry, and go about my day, and they are so helpful. You have helped me in countless ways along my journey. Thank you for all that you do. I really do believe that I would not have been successful without your podcast. Sincerely, Shira." Well, how cool is this? So I agree with you that we need a little more than just a daily inspiration. And the term that I love to joke around with is that we do the show every single day, except for the days we don't. And if you've been following along since day one, you know that the days that we don't seem to outnumber the days that we do. But that all changes here in August when we kind of reshift everything. But here's what I want you to know. There's 269 episodes. So every single day you can plug in some motivation to find something to get you back going. And so this 95% effort that you talk about. So 95% effort that's when you go all out for 95% of the effort. You have some days that aren't exactly your best. You can get to a very new self place. You can get to some place that you've never been. But you're right, it's that last 5% that is completely game changing. And so when you get there, you recognize that it's an instant, I am a different person. Now, I may be actually, of course, the same person, but I feel better. And in my case, I have more confidence and more stamina, and everything is just better that last 5%. But that last 5% is when you truly have to ditch some of the lifestyle behaviors that were yours in the past that no longer support this new life. That is where you've got to say, I am completely changing my life. That's where it's at. And so when you get to that last 5% nugget and that last 5% of motivation, that's the hardest point. That's the point where you really have to decide, which life do I want to live? And do I want to live the old lifestyle? Do I want to live the new lifestyle? Somewhere in between you can find success, but if you truly want to go all in, it takes that last 5%. And so you can get there. That's the cool thing. And then when you get there, you can make the decision on what it looks like, what it feels like, and you can always adjust throughout your journey. So here you are, just 5 pounds, but, above what you consider your goal weight. I think if we look back and we celebrate that accomplishment, right? I mean, here we are, we're arguing over a 5-pound difference. There's a really good chance that when you started this journey, A 5-pound difference wasn't going to be the thing that made you, do or die in that sense. It wasn't we weren't arguing over whether we wanted to be, this weight or 5 pounds difference. We celebrated the first 5-pound loss and we continued to rock it, and congratulations on doing that. But here we are now. We're getting all the way down to the finite details in the last 5 pounds of your journey, and I promise you, it is the best 5 pounds you can lose. The first 5 is very close. The last 5, completely different. You got this. That blue dot day will carry you through. Continue to follow in your tracker. Continue to track in everything you eat, right? And when you're out of points, we say stop eating points. That's kind of the game plan. To get to that last 5%, that has to be your mantra every single meal, consistently, day in, day out. And you have to adjust your life so that that food sustains you in doing so. It's truly an honor to do this. Thank you for tuning in every Sunday and getting your feed on at that point. I believe that you would have been just as successful without the podcast. And because here's why. Because you've been successful with it, which means that all of the ability to do it was yours. We just found something that reminded you along the way that you could do this. So take credit for all of your hard work. Take credit for the success that you did. And I'm glad that this tool helps you. But what I want you to know more than anything is that you did this. 100% you. 100% you did it. You got it done. Shira, thank you. Congratulations. Right back in when you figure out those last 5. I can't wait to share that on the air. Out of Somerset, Massachusetts, Jamie writes in, says, "Hi, Mike. Hey, just a quick note. Wednesday, I will hit 48 pounds lost, but I was up a whole pound this morning. But as those in the Wise Wingman group saw from my picture, I was feeling great. And I still did this morning despite the scale. I'm a daily weigher, despite the scale being up. I tracked everything as always. I got a blue dot, and I was mindful. It was all good, and it still was this morning. So the celebration is, I think I finally understand when Mike says you will feel what goal is. You will just know it. It wasn't about the number this morning. It was a feeling. Well, I'm not at my goal weight quite yet. I'm inching closer, and that is a celebration." Jamie, yes. Yes. I wish I could bottle that energy up, because there is something that happens when you have completely changed your life and you've gotten to the point where you're no longer, the whys that got you started no longer exist in that sense. Like in my case, it was the danger of failing a fitness test and being on high blood pressure medicine and just being completely out of shape. All of that is gone, right? So that piece of it, I'm glad to have gotten rid of, and it took me completely changing my life to get there. And so that number, depending on what the scale is, that doesn't come back instantly. That doesn't come back with a pound or 2, right? That doesn't even come back with 5 or 10 in some cases. That comes back with being completely unaware of what you're doing day to day and just living a life that isn't the life that we know we're capable of. So as you weigh yourself daily and you get to that point where the scale pops up a number you weren't expecting and it's up a little bit, there are still ways for you to be completely proud of everything you're doing. And so, it's very similar to the first email, right? Is we laugh nowadays. Like when we're losing weight, I get it, right? When you know you've worked your tail off and you know you did good and you come in and you hop in on the scale and it's up 1 pound, I understand the true frustration. And in a lot of cases, that's enough to get someone to go, yeah, I'm done. I quit doing this. And I don't want to ever see that. But when you get very close to goal, and you're so close, and you're down 48 pounds, which is significant. It's an amazing accomplishment. You can't do that on accident. It takes hard work and dedication. When you're down 48 pounds, and all of a sudden you go up 1, no big deal. If you're true to the process and you're true to continuing on, and you're mindful and aware of all the things in your life that are now different, right? And at that point, it's not about the number on the scale. It's about your daily activity. It's about the things that you can do now. It's about your gratitude. It's about how well you feel. And so there is nothing you can step on that gives you that set of data. That's something that you have to figure out internally. And when you figure it out internally, that is what we're after. We're after the piece where we just feel amazing. And it doesn't matter what the scale says. Now, sure, at some point, the scale, as it continues, if it were to continue to climb back up, we do have to worry about the things that put us here in the first place. But it's not a 1 to 2 pounds. It's you being consistently doing the right things, building your new life, living your new life, and living happily ever after. Jamie, you have an amazing mindset. Amy calls it out on Facebook. She says, great job. Very proud of you and your mindset. The mindset, folks, I'm telling you, the mindset is what if I could give you that more than anything, that would be the gift that I could give you. If I could give you the ability to go, okay, I'm waking up today and I'm aware of what I'm doing. Even if you don't make the right choices, you're aware of them. That is significant victory. I know, again, in my journey, before day one, there was nothing I could care about. I wasn't thinking about anything. Now, every single day, and it's still true to this day, every single day, one of the things I check in with my health, I check in with how I'm doing, and I take a kind of a pause and reflect and go, yeah, I'm doing this. And so even the days that I consider now balanced, and if they go off balance a little bit, but it's still mentally aware. And so, Jamie, you've got that figured out. The mindset truly is the gift, and you've earned that. Congratulations. The 48-pound weight loss certainly has given that to you, and I could not be more proud of you as well. So keep up the amazing work. Last email of the show comes in at Kannapolis, North Carolina. Comes in from Lisa. She says, hi, dear Mike. I'm writing this on my birthday. I'm not sure I'll ever hit send, but when I'm done. So I just know I have a bunch of thoughts swirling around in my head that I need to get out. You see, I received a rather unconventional gift this year. It was a phone call from my doctor giving me results from my annual wellness exam. She said a lot of things, but it boiled down to pre-cancer, more tests needed. The thoughts, the emotions that surfaced at a rapid-fire pace. First was fear. Fear of what this means for my health. Fear of how it will impact my life. Fear of what will happen in the future. And oddly, fear that I would launch into an emotional eating binge. Yep, one of my very first thoughts was, I don't want to eat my feelings, but I was terrified that I would. As is typical of me, I began to research. The fear of the unknown has always been worse for me than knowing the facts. I discovered that I now have a 20% increased risk of developing cancer within the next 10 years. Not because of the abnormalities, but that were revealed in my yearly checkup, because I was actually also diagnosed with HPV. Well, as you can imagine, the next emotion to come along was anger. I was furious. There are only 2 possible places that I could have caught this cancer-causing virus, from either my first or my second husband. I was mad at them. I was mad at life. I was mad at the world. I was just mad. I felt like I've been doing everything right, especially now. Why now? I'm the strongest and healthiest I've ever been during my adult life. I've worked really hard to get here. I have a job that I love. I have a wonderful husband that I love so much. I didn't want to be mad at him. I have a great family and wonderful friends. I'm involved in causes that I feel passionate about and truly enjoy. Serving with Operation Fat Dag, co-producing the WhysAdvice podcast, and editing for the fatdag.com blog team. I have opportunities on the horizon that I never dreamed were possible. This might ruin some of those opportunities for me. Yeah, I was really, really mad. At this point, you might be wondering how all of this was a gift. I'm writing into the show a few times. One of those emails was my why. My why is because I love my body. It didn't happen naturally. It was a choice. I hated my body until one day I decided that my body had been so faithful, carrying me through this life, that it really deserved my love. It didn't take me long to realize that I was directing all of my energy at being angry instead of directing it towards loving my body. This frightening diagnosis gave me the gift of adding one more level to my why. My why 2.0 is to love my body and treat it so well that it becomes healthy and strong enough to fight the HPV and fight off precancer. Oh, and that 20% increased risk of cancer that I'm facing, well, that means actually I have an 80% chance of remaining cancer-free. I'm going to give my body every fighting chance of being in that 80%. I'm no longer angry. I'm thankful. Thankful that this is something that I can fight off. Thankful that I'm physically and mentally in a place that I can take the action needed to give my body the best chance. Oh, and thankful that I've grown enough that I did not eat my feelings. I stayed on plan. Maybe that was the best gift of all. Lisa. Lisa, you are incredible. Love Your Body 2.0 is a great, we need to start that hashtag, get that thing trending out there. But yeah, for sure, let's go all the way back to the whole range of emotion that you brought up. And I think every one of us can relate to all of it. Congratulations on your incredible mindset. My heart breaks for you with this diagnosis, but what I'm so proud to see is that you've gotten to a place where you understand that your body is what's going to take care of you through this process. And so you now have the ability to take care of it so that it can take care of you. And if you go back a little bit further, like you said, as an adult, you're in the best shape of your life, which is going to give you the best opportunity to live a long, healthy, happy life. You're very, very strong, and you got this. You know that you got this, and you know that your entire community of wingmen are right behind you saying, yeah, you can do this. So what a great gift that you've been given. And I think the biggest gift of all is that you recognize the mindset shift in your journey. So the entire range of emotions that are very valid, right? I'm not going to dismiss any of them. You know, there's fear, there's anger. Those are real emotions. And so what you have demonstrated through your entire journey is that you understand that the eating and the binge eating that usually comes and we try and hide fear and anger with wasn't going to help you. And so on your birthday, you sat down and penned a letter and then you got complete control of your emotion. Happy birthday. What an amazing gift that you've given yourself on your own birthday is that you took a moment to jot down things that you were thinking and to allow yourself to get to a place where you can kind of now figure out the true cause, the true root, and really formulate a plan for long term. That's the incredible gift that you've given yourself. And by you taking a moment to put it all in email and sending it into the show, which comes into you, luckily, right? And I know you wrote this a few weeks ago, so it takes a while to get on the show, even if you're the producer. But thank you for taking the time to write it out. And I think you opened your email the way so many people do, is that they say, I'm not sure I will ever hit send. And so I want you to know I understand that. And I want you to know that for those of you who have done that, that is just as therapeutic as sending it in. And so what I want you to do is, whether you send it in or not, of course there's no show if you don't send it in, but whether you send it in or not is really irrelevant. What matters is that you sit down like Lisa did. You sit down and you document the emotional reaction that you're having. And so the time it takes you to put this to pen to paper and type it out on a keyboard, whatever method you use, and use the time it takes to do that, generally speaking, we can then go, okay, I understand that eating is not going to be the cure. Eating is not going to help me. It's actually going to do just the opposite, because when I'm done eating, I'm going to have the same issues that I had before I started eating. Oh, and then I'm going to have additional issues on top of that. So you've done that. You are doing everything right. And you've gotten to the point, Lisa, now where you know what's right and what's working in your new lifestyle. Incredible journey that you've been on. And so, folks, if you're not already tracking, that's just where I want you to get to. I want you to get to the point where you emotionally have complete control of what's going on, right? And so the typical reactions are now controlled, and you can say, okay, is this going to align with my goal? Does this push me closer to my goal? Does this make me the healthiest version of me or not? And then you take a moment and you pause and you think about it. And then when all the dust settles, you have a moment to go, okay, wait a minute. No, No, everything I have going in my life is going good. And for those of us in the Discord chat today for patrons, every Monday we do a chat where we get together for about an hour and just kind of discussing that. I talked about looking for all the things that are going right in your life. Andy Andrews does a great job of saying this, that there are a million people on this planet that would trade everything they have to live a day in your life. He goes on to say that if you had the opportunity, if we could all sit together and we could write down everything that's going wrong in our life, and we could write it down and we could throw it into a pile in the center of the room. But the rule is you've got to walk out with something. No one gets out of this world scot-free. If you could reach into that pile, you would start looking at them and you would beg for your own back. That's the place we want to get to. We want to get to the place where everything that we're going through, everything that we are dealt with, we know that we are capable of handling it. And so everything that we've been given for a reason, because we have the ability to fight it off. So now here you are, you're at a place where you're in the best shape of your life. Imagine getting this news many, years ago when you're not mentally strong. Completely different world for you. But here you are, a wonderful job, wonderful husband, wonderful causes that you support, knowing that your life is full of gratitude, which is what we talked about today, and that gratitude now gives you the strength to fight this thing. It gives you the strength to recognize that you have an 80% chance. I'll take those odds almost often, right? Those odds are incredible odds, but it took you a time to get this thing written down where you were able to shift from, rather than looking at the 20%, you looked at the abundance of the 80% and you said, yeah, I got this. Deep in your why 2.0, you have got this thing going on. You love your body. You treat it so well. It is healthy, happy, and strong, and it will fight off everything for you. Continue to do what you're doing. I'm so glad that you've ditched the anger and turned into gratitude, knowing that you are mentally, physically in the place that you can take whatever action you need to give yourself the absolute best chance. That is the gift. The gift is that you have given yourself that opportunity to go win. Oh, and staying on plan? Yeah, that's just a byproduct, right? That's you living life, doing well, doing everything right, and getting it done. And you understand that your goals are bigger, and you got them done. Lisa, thank you for all that you've done for the show. Thank you for what you've done for Operation Bat Tag. Thank you from personally. I know you and I chat quite a bit back and forth personally, and so thank you for all that you've done. You're an incredible inspiration, and we're here for you. Whatever you need from this community, you just let us know, and we will answer in force. So thank you for that, and let's all just keep rocking it, right? So that's where we're at, guys. And so what I want you to do is, if you're listening right now, I want you to find a way to do exactly what Lisa did in this email. I want you to find a way to look at everything that you have going on and start focusing on what's going right. Shift from that 20% to that 80% and start seeing the things that you actually, that are there for you that other people don't have the ability to have. And I want you to appreciate them, and I want you to write them down and start looking for other opportunities for things to be grateful for. Those grateful opportunities, those grateful moments cause you to start celebrating the little things in life. And the more you celebrate, the more you start looking for celebrations. And that's what this whole show is about celebrating your life and celebrating your success and celebrating together. So I want to know, what is it that you're celebrating? Let's share it on the air. Go to fatdag.com, click on the WhysAdvice podcast, send in your celebrations, send in the comments, send in your questions. I'll work them in as part of the show. When you email in your celebrations, I want you to do it because I want you to be proud of what you're doing. I want to help you along your journey. I want you to find a place of gratitude. I want to help you get there. You have the ability to get there. Every single person listening, you have the opportunity, the ability to shift your mindset and give yourself the gift of life. Well, that's going to do it for this time. Remember that losing weight and getting healthy has nothing to do with luck. You have to remain disciplined and focused. Set your sights on your goal and go after it. On behalf of my producers, Heather and Lisa, we wish you good focus. I keep forgetting I need this. Got used to throwing it away. Yep. Whoop whoop. Let's see. Becky says focusing on the 80% does make you more grateful. I completely agree. Susan, it's from late from Ohio. Good evening to you. Anna's checking in for a view. Let's see. Oh, Debbie says the next after question is plan an action, do the action, study the outcome, assess, act, what change was needed or not, and repeat. I agree with that. Lee says today is the anniversary of the day I woke up from a 17-day coma in 1985. Man, we're so glad that happened. Sorry, so glad that you woke up, right? So glad that we got to spend this life with you, the rest of your life. And Lee, you're an incredible inspiration as well. Very fun. That's right. 269 is in the books. Lindsay says what I caught was awesome. Lindsay, you get to see it live tomorrow night. Looking forward to that. Right. Debbie, well, I'll scroll up for a little bit. Evelyn says I needed this one tonight. Yeah, me too. Me too. And Jamie, I love that. At the end of the day, I write down 3 things and celebrate each day. Man, that's total what I want you to do. Every day I want you to find 3 things that you're grateful for. I like to say put them on your bathroom mirror, right? Use a dry erase marker to do that. Yeah, Kathy says, Lee, things would not be the same without you. Completely agree. Completely agree. Becky throws hugs and prayers out to Lisa. Thanks for sharing and being an inspiration during a difficult time. Right? I didn't even mention that, but isn't that true, right? I mean, when we start dealing with some crazy stuff, it's a lot easier to just go, yeah, I don't want to talk to anybody. I just want to be on my own. So fun. Deb is here. Finally made it. Very nice. Debbie, I see your comments, but I'm not following the conversation, so I'll go back and read it after, for sure. So Betty says, great podcast, always so inspirational. You guys, so this is what makes it inspirational is that you guys share your stories and you share your complete mental transformation with the audience. That's what I've told you this time and time again, right? This is not about me. This is you guys telling your story, and that's what makes this thing so powerful. So send it in, for sure. Keep sending it in. So Anna says, I'm up 1 pound today, but it's fine. Next week will be better. Tonight can be better. Lee, yes. Right here, look. Lee sent a letter in. So yeah, right here. We'll use them tomorrow, as a matter of fact. Tomorrow I'll have the opportunity to speak again in front of a group of Army folks. So that's a great opportunity for Operation Fat Dag tomorrow. Can't wait for that. So Lee, thank you for sending letters in. You guys can always do that on air. Go to operationfatdag.org and you'll find the address to go ahead and send a letter, and I will use those in my talk and deliver them on your behalf. So Catherine says, needed this tonight. I'm very grateful for a lot of things. I do write them on my bathroom mirror. So very good. Very good. So Debbie's saying, questions that you should ask yourself is, does this benefit me? Does this change the situation? Does it harm or hurt me or others? So yeah, when you ask those questions, it certainly makes you, the trick is getting in a place where you have those questions available to think about. Sometimes the anger and the fear and the frustration is so strong that we don't pause long enough, which is why I wish that we'd celebrate more often along the way, because it hopefully puts us in a state of gratitude where we realize there's more at stake. But those are great questions for sure. So Debbie says, okay, I stopped asking what about my letter. I'm not sure. Debbie, I think what we're going to do with yours, Lisa and I had a conversation about that a couple of days ago. I got to figure out where we left that, but I think what we want to do is use it on an actual show. Because I think your email is very, very powerful, and I don't think I can do it any justice by reading it. So I think what I would prefer to do is actually have you and I sit down and discuss it, and let that be the benefit of the members. So it's just, you have a very powerful email that I don't want to butcher. So Marcy says, I love that part about taking into account that all that's going on in your life at the moment. It definitely contributes to our success or setbacks. Yeah. So, that's the hardest part is for us to realize, is that truly, and I get it. I mean, some of us have been through some crazy stuff, and Marcia, you in particular, I wouldn't want to live a day in that scenario, right? But you're strong and you're a survivor, you're doing incredible work. And so what you have to understand is that obviously you still have a lot to be thankful for, but in that brief moment, we forget about that. And so it goes back to we're looking at that 20% or less, and we're allowing that to consume our entire day. And that's not what I want you to do. I want you to absolutely acknowledge the stuff that sucks. I get it, right? You have to acknowledge it. There's no question that I'm not asking you to ignore it. I'm not asking you to put it aside. That's not what I want you to do. But what I want you to do is recognize that is a small percentage of everything you have going on in your life. Sure, in that moment, it feels like 100%. I know that. But it just feels like it because the emotion comes at you so quickly and so heavily that it drowns out everything. But what I want you to know is that you still have a family that depends on you. You still have friends that depend on you. You still have amazing jobs, amazing houses, amazing everything you got, your health, right? That's the benefit of us taking complete inventory and going, yeah, I can do this, right? So, I saw a quote on Facebook. I'm going to butcher it because I'm trying to remember it as I'm talking, but along the lines where there's a guy with unfortunately no legs and a guy with legs, and the guy with legs looked at me and goes, man, without any legs, how come you're not miserable? And the guy turns around and goes back, with two legs, how come you are miserable? Something along those lines, right? But basically saying like, man, you got it going on. I'm not miserable because just the life I've been dealt, but you've got way better than I do in that regard, and you're not happy about it. So. Again, I'll go find the quote and I'll put it on fatdag.com just so we can, or I'll put it on Facebook page so it makes more sense. But that's the gist. Be thankful for what you got, even when it doesn't feel like that's the best thing going for you. So on that note, thank you guys for being here. Always fun to hang out with you after. Good night, Lee. Have a good focus to you as well. Debbie says, I'm up for that. No, I will butcher it. No. Becky's asking if I've rescheduled Phoenix. I have not rescheduled Phoenix yet, but it's on the list to do. Getting Tulsa up next. So we go through the Tulsa, Indy, Toronto, New Hampshire cycle. I'm telling you, I've got to get out of the military first. That's the first thing. That frees up my calendar. So August 1st, that happens. And then, woo, man. We are better than most, not as good as some. Yep, Steve sums it up well. So Marie, good night. Thank you guys. So again, thank you guys all for being here. An amazing opportunity to hang out with you. Always the highlight of my evening. So, Lindsay, we'll see you tomorrow night. That is for sure. We'll see you at the workshop. I put all my workshops online, so if you're in the area, pop in. It's a typical workshop, but it's a lot of fun. So, but on that note, thank you for being here. You guys know the deal. I wish you great focus. You got this, right? It takes discipline and focus, and you absolutely got it. Maggie says, sleep well. Wishing you a terrific Tuesday. So on that note, let's end it. Thank you. Good night. I wish you guys all good focus. Bye-bye.